The ancient Stoics had a unique way of looking at politics. Unlike many people today, they did not see politics as just a game of power or a way to gain personal advantage. For them, politics was about service, duty, and living in harmony with nature. Their ideas were shaped by their belief in reason, self-control, and the importance of virtue. To understand what the Stoics thought about politics, we must first understand their philosophy as a whole. Stoicism was founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium around 300 BCE. Later, great thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius developed the philosophy further. The Stoics believed that the universe was governed by a rational principle called the Logos. This Logos was like a divine reason that ordered everything in nature. Humans, as rational beings, were meant to live according to this reason. For the Stoics, the best life was one of virtue, living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. Because of this, the Stoics saw politics as an extension of ethics. A good politician was not someone who sought fame or wealth, but someone who worked for the common good. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, served as an advisor to the Roman Emperor Nero. He believed that those in power had a responsibility to act justly and wisely. In his letters, he often wrote about the dangers of corruption and the importance of leaders being guided by virtue rather than ambition. Marcus Aurelius, another famous Stoic, was himself a Roman emperor. His book Meditations was a personal journal where he reflected on how to rule with wisdom. He saw his position not as a privilege, but as a duty. He believed that a ruler must remain calm, fair, and focused on what was best for the people, even when faced with difficulties. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that power was temporary, and that true happiness came from living a virtuous life. Epictetus, who was born a slave, had a different perspective on politics. He taught that while external things like wealth, power, or social status were not under our full control, our own thoughts and actions were. This meant that even if someone was not in a position of political power, they could still live a good life by focusing on what they could control, their own behavior. Epictetus believed that true freedom came from self-mastery, not from holding office or ruling over others. The Stoics also had interesting thoughts about citizenship. They believed that humans were not just citizens of their own cities or countries, but of the whole world. This idea was called cosmopolitanism. They argued that since all people share reason, they should treat each other with fairness and respect, no matter where they came from. This was a radical idea at the time, when most people only cared about their own tribe or nation. So what would the Stoics say about modern politics? They would likely criticize the greed, dishonesty, and short-term thinking that often dominate political life. They would advise leaders to act with integrity, to focus on long-term good rather than quick victories, and to remember that power is a responsibility, not a prize. They would also remind ordinary citizens that even if they cannot change the whole system, they can still live virtuously in their own lives. The Stoics did not believe in utopias. They knew that no society would ever be perfect. But they did believe that individuals could improve themselves and, by doing so, make the world a little better. They taught that politics, like all human activities, should be guided by wisdom and justice. Whether you are a ruler or a citizen, the Stoic approach is the same. Focus on what you can control, act with virtue, and remember that the true measure of a life well lived is not power or fame, but character. In the end, the Stoics saw politics as a test of character. It was not about winning or losing, but about doing what was right. Their teachings remind us that no matter how chaotic or unfair the world may seem, we always have a choice to act with integrity, to serve others, and to live according to reason. These lessons from ancient philosophy are just as valuable today as they were 2,000 years ago.